Hello students, it's Nazia Begum here, your physics lecturer, welcoming you all in today's lecture. So in previous lecture we have discussed about the characteristic of PN junction diode, as well as we also have studied about use of diode as rectifier, half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. Now today we will discuss special purpose PN junction diodes. Okay. So some important special purpose PN junction diodes are solar cell, light emitting diode, which we know as LED, Zener diode and photodiode. Okay. So first of all, let's understand what is solar cell. A solar cell is a junction diode which converts solar energy into electrical energy. It works on the photovoltaic effect. Okay. So photoelectric effect we have studied in previous chapter. This photovoltaic effect is related to that only. So here what happened in photoelectric effect, we have seen that when the lights of sufficient energy when the sufficient energy radiations are incident on a metal, so the electrons get emitted from that metal. Okay. So here what happened, the light solar radiation. Okay. So when the solar radiation incident on an open circuited PN junction, and EMF is generated across its terminal. This is photovoltaic EMF and the phenomena is called photovoltaic effect. Okay. So here you can see, this is the diagram of a solar cell. Here in this solar cell, see on this side many labelings are there. Okay. So you can see here that this is the N region, this one is N region, this one is P region, and between them this line you can see, this is the PN junction. This is the junction between P and N. Okay. On the top of this PN junction, one metallic grid is there here. Okay. And above the metallic grid there is one glass window. Glass window means only a simple glass sheet is there. Okay. So like this one structure is there. So when the sunlight falls on this glass sheet, when the sunlight falls, this glass sheet allows the sunlight to cross it and to go to the PN junction. Okay. When the sunlight go to PN junction, because of effect of this solar radiation, the electron gets excited. Okay. The N side of this cell is called, N region is called the emitter because it emits the electron. Okay. In N type semiconductor, electrons are the majority charge carriers. So when the light falls on N side, it emitted the electrons. Okay. And because of that photovoltage, okay, photovoltaic effect, that electron starts moving towards P junction. Okay. So there is flow of electron, and because of that flow, the current also starts flowing in the circuit. And here is the use of solar cell. So solar cell are used first to produce electrical power in artificial satellites and space vehicles. So as we know that artificial satellites are revolving around Earth in a particular orbit. Okay. And at that much distance it is not possible to supply them energy. Okay. So we cannot supply energy to satellite by any other mean. So what we do, in the wings of the satellites, if you have seen the pictures of satellites, you can see that they have very big wings. In their wings we install solar panels. Okay. So when satellites are revolving around Earth, so whenever so sun is always there. Okay. Sun is always there and the Earth is rotating around sun. So when satellites are revolving around Earth, they are continuously getting solar radiation, and by absorbing that solar radiations, that solar panels are continuously producing the energy, electrical energy. Okay. So solar cells are used in artificial satellites. Second, for charging storage batteries during daytime which can supply power during night. Okay. Third, in wristwatches and calculators. And fourth, as light meters. So these are some uses of solar cells. Then next is light emitting diode. So as the name only suggests, this is the diode, this is the diode which emits light. Okay, so a heavily doped junction diode. So one thing you must remember, that LEDs are heavily doped. So a heavily doped junction diode which emits visible light, okay, which emits visible light when forward biased is called light emitting diode. So a heavily doped junction diode which when we connect to forward bias, that time it emits light, that is called light emitting diode. So we can say that this diode converts electrical energy into light energy, because we are giving the current, and that current this diode is converting in light. Okay, so here you can see the diagram. Okay, here in this diagram you can see this is one PN junction diode which is enclosed in a glass casing. Why glass is there? So that the light can easily pass through the glass and come out. Okay, this PN junction is connected to a power source, a battery. Okay, which can be a battery or which can be any electrical supply system. And here we are having the rheostat. Okay, sorry, we are having the rheostat, that means variable resistance. Okay, so here you can see P type is connected to positive terminal and N type is connected to negative terminal. So that means this PN junction is in forward biasing. Okay, so when sufficient amount of current or voltage is supplied, so that time this PN junction emits light. Okay, so that's why it is called light emitting diode. So how it works? So here you can read its working. When a junction diode is forward biased, the electrons from N region and the holes from P region move across the junction. This thing we have already discussed, that when the junction is connected in forward biasing, so that time electron and holes, the majority charge carriers, they start moving towards the junction. As a result, what happened? The concentration of the minority charge carriers at the junction boundary increases as compared to their equilibrium concentration. These excess minority carrier recombine with the majority carriers near the junction. In each electron hole recombination, energy is released. Okay, so when the electron and hole starts moving towards the junction, they recombine. Okay, they recombine at junction, and when they recombine, they release some amount of energy. That energy they release in form of photons. What are photons? Photons are the small particle of light. When we consider light as particle, we assume that light is made up of small bundle of energy. Each bundle is called photon. Okay, so there when the energy is released at junction, it is in form of photons, that means in form of light. The energy of the emitted photon is less than or equal to the band gap. It can never be more than band gap. It is equal or less than band gap energy, Eg. Then let's see the uses of LEDs. LEDs are used in remote controls, calculators, digital clock and optical communication. So whenever you are giving electricity and that electricity is being converted into light, so most of probably LEDs are being used there. Okay, because they are very small. Okay, they are very compact, reliable and easy to use devices. So that's why in most of the devices we are using LEDs for emitting light. And why LEDs are being used in place of these normal incandescent lamps? That means in place of normal bulbs or lamps, we are using LEDs. Okay, uh, so following are the advantages of using LEDs. That advantages are written here. First, they require low operational voltage and consume less power. Second, they display fast action and no warm up time is required. So it is not like when you give energy and when they absorb sufficient energy, then only they will emit light. It is not like that. As you give the energy, instantly the light start emitting out. Third, they emit nearly monochromatic light and have long life. Okay. Then the next special purpose diode is Zener diode. So Zener diode is a junction diode which is designed in such a manner that it works in reverse biasing. Okay, so it is a junction diode designed to work in breakdown region of reverse biasing. As I have told you that in reverse biasing the current first increases very slowly. As we increase the voltage, the current increases so slowly that it is approximately negligible. Okay, but after a certain value of voltage the current suddenly abruptly increases. Okay, so at that voltage what happened, at that voltage breakdown occur there, and because of that breakdown the amount of current increases abruptly. Okay, so Zener diode is designed in such a manner that it works in breakdown region of reverse biasing. So if it works in breakdown region, that means it gives current in reverse biasing, because in breakdown region we are getting very high amount of current. Okay, so in a Zener diode, the voltage drop is practically independent of the current that flows through it. And this is a very very important thing. You all must remember this line. Okay, whatever is there under this box. Okay, this thing is very very important characteristic of Zener diode. In a Zener diode, the voltage drop is practically independent of the current that flows through it. Hence, it can act as a voltage regulator. Now, what is a voltage regulator? In your home, you all are having fans. Okay. So, if you want fan to be fast, you increase its speed by using a regulator. Okay, you can also decrease the speed of fan by using the regulator. So that regulator of fan is made up of Zener diode only. Okay, why it is made up of Zener diode? Because the Zener diode, in Zener diode the voltage drop is independent of current. So that means if we are using Zener diode as regulator, so without affecting the current which is passing in the fan, without affecting that current, we can change the voltage, and by changing the voltage we can change the speed of fan. Is it clear? So that's why Zener diode is used as voltage regulator. Okay, because it is independent of current. Now here you can see it is the symbol for Zener diode. In case of PN junction, this was the symbol. Okay, this was the symbol. Now if this line is made like this, so it becomes Zener diode, and it is showing that the PN junction is now reverse biased. The PN junction is working in reverse bias. So that time we will have this type of symbol. Okay, so this is the symbol of Zener diode. And here you can see the arrangement for using Zener diode as voltage regulator. Okay, so here we are having the load resistance whose voltage we have to increase or decrease. Here we are having the Zener diode, and here we are having the resistance. Okay, from here we will give input and here we will get the output. And how it works? The Zener diode is connected to the fluctuating DC in reverse biasing through a resistance Rs of suitable value. The output is obtained across a load resistance RL which is connected in parallel with Zener diode. So this thing you must remember, okay, that whatever load resistance is there, it is connected in parallel with the Zener diode. Okay. Now this is the last special purpose PN junction diode, which is photodiode. Okay, so what is photodiode? It is a special purpose PN junction diode which works under reverse biasing below the breakdown voltage. Okay, so Zener diode works in the breakdown region, but photodiode works under the breakdown region, below the breakdown region. Okay, when no light is incident on the junction diode, a small reverse saturation current flows through the junction, and when photodiode is illuminated, okay, when photodiode is illuminated with light, that current stops. Are you understanding this? So suppose we are having this circuit in which we are having a PN junction diode. Okay, so when no light is coming, that time it will show current will flow. But when the light falls on PN junction, so that time what happened, it sends the light and stops the flow of current. Okay, here something different is there. When the light is absent, in the absence of light, the current will flow in the circuit, but when it is exposed to light, the current stops flowing. So what is the use of this photodiode? See, here you can see uses of photodiodes. They are used in detecting optical signals, switching the lights on and off, electronic counters, and reading computer cards. Okay, so the most important, very important use is this one, switching the lights on and off. And where we use this? See, you are having street lamps. Okay, in a road, so many street lamps are there and they all are connected in series. So if one lamp is switched on, all the lamp will be switched on. Okay, separate switches are not provided because practically it is not possible to go and switch on each and every light separately and then switch it off separately. Okay, it is a very tedious work, very lengthy work it is. So they all are connected in series and by one button only we can operate all the lights. Okay, but sometime what happen, because of negligence of responsible persons, okay, in daytime you can see that street lights are on, or sometime you can see that at night also street lights are off. Okay, so that type of things are past now. Why? Because it was happened in past when photodiodes were not being used. But now when we are using photodiodes in street lights, so that time what happened, this photodiode, when there is no light at night time, when there is no sunlight, this photodiode switch all the this photodiode on all the switches, make all the turn all the switches on, and the current starts flowing and all the street lights will work. But as the photodiode sends the uh, solar light, solar radiation, okay, as it sends that radiation, solar light, sunlight, so what it does, it switch all the lights off. Okay, it stops the flow of current and all the lights were switch off. So like this, without any manual work, we can switch on and off all these street lights by using the photodiode. Because when there is no light, if suppose cloudy days are there, if suppose night time is there, okay, fog is there, so that time it does not sense the light and allows all the lights to switch on. Okay, it allows the current to flow through all the lights. But when it sends the sunlight, okay, if bright sunny day is there at daytime, when it sends the sunlight, it stops the flow of current and turn all the switches off. So like this photodiode saves the energy. Okay, so these are, I think this is the very important use of photodiode. And with this topic we have finished this chapter, and this is the last chapter, last topic. Okay, so with this today we all have completed our physics syllabus. Okay, so the theory portion we have completed, derivation etc we have completed, but we have not solved any numerical problem till now. So when I will take your practical classes, so after that practical class I will explain you how to solve the numericals also. Okay, so this is it for today's lecture. In next lecture we will start our revision portion. Okay, so till then, goodbye, take care, do some productive work, and the most important thing, be healthy, be safe.